Last weekend, Ari Aster had a new film out in theaters titled Eddington. That means he has 4 theatrically released films. Today, I'm going to rank them. Before I dive right in, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and comment down below what are your opinions on Ari Aster and his filmography. As for me, I think that he's a great director that doesn't direct great movies. In fact, I said that Eddington was going to be probably last place. That's because the movies I saw before Midsummer and Beau is Afraid was Eddington and Hereditary, and I thought both of them had very distinct style. But those last 2 movies kind of turned me away from him, and I think his next project needs to be smaller in scale. He needs to tone it down. And so he's a director that I am very conflicted on right now, thinking he's great, but he doesn't make great movies. So with that said, let's dive right into my ranking. Number 4, I said it was going to be Eddington in my Eddington review. I thought, you know what, Ari Aster, he's probably not going to go lower than this. And he went lower than that. Number 4, we're going with Midsummer. This is a movie that, probably the one that I was looking forward to watching the most out of all of Aster's films. And, it's also the one I was most disappointed by. This did not work for me whatsoever. So the way I watched it is, on Friday night, me, my brother, and a couple friends hanging out at my house, making food, playing games, having fun, and they left around 11 o'clock. Me and my brother are like, you know what, I gotta watch Midsummer for this video. So we turned it on. I fell asleep an hour into it, and I woke up 8:30 the next day to finish Midsummer before I had to be at work at 12. And when I fell asleep, I was like, okay, the first hour was slow, but I can see them setting up certain things. I'm intrigued to see where Ari Aster is going to go, or how messed up this ending's going to be. And then I clicked it on the next morning, and it's more the same. It's really slow. We're setting up things. And then all of a sudden, the movie has 15 minutes left, and I don't feel like we got anywhere in the story. Like, we didn't have that much compelling story. And the direction the movie went was so far different than where I originally thought it was going to go. It did not work. The movie decides to take a spin on abusive relationships or toxic relationships. Well, if you're going to do a movie about a toxic relationship, you actually have to have the cast or the 2 people in the relationship. You actually have to have them have a toxic relationship where, guess what? They do not. This boyfriend was not bad. Maybe I'm the bad one. Maybe I'm going to be a bad boyfriend when I get a girlfriend. But I don't think this boyfriend was bad enough to deserve the fate that he got in that 3rd act. Like, they were trying to be like, oh, he forgot her birthday and she feels like she wants to be in the relationship with him. But he's constantly trying to break up with her and he just feels so bad for her. He did not deserve to be put in the bear costume. Because get this, the whole climax of the movie, and this is so bizarre to me, the whole climax of the movie was him being forced to drink this thing that's going to mess with his mind so he can go mate with one of the cultist girls who's finally ready to have a child or whatever. So he's drugged. He's forced to make out and do the deed with this chick, right? So Florence Pugh walks in on him. His girlfriend walks in on him and doesn't think it through, doesn't think, oh, he was forced to do this. What's actually going on here? He wouldn't cheat on me. And decides, yeah, let's kill him. Yeah, we're going to kill him. So that's what's going to happen. And the ending of the movie is just him being burned alive. Yeah, the movie is not doing good stuff with toxic relationships, especially because I don't personally feel that this relationship was that bad. So it's just a story that felt directionless, ending that just left a sour taste in my mouth, not just because of how mentally disturbing it was, but just because it just didn't work for the context of the movie. And it just felt like Ari Aster didn't know what to make. He said he wanted to make a movie about a cult, but he didn't know what kind of themes to implement here. So Midsummer didn't work for me really at all. Number 3, we're going with Beau is Afraid. Now, this one's really disappointing for me because the first hour and a half of this movie, I think, is great. We're inside this unique world, setting up all this world building, the stuff where he's in the town and all this crazy stuff is happening. It's just awesome. When he goes to the house for about 45 minutes in the movie, it's awesome. It's interesting. But then I don't know if it's just Ari Aster movies in the morning don't work with me, but I fell asleep after the first hour and a half and woke up to finish the movie, And the second hour and a half, second half of the movie does not work for me. And it's frustrating because so much potential. It was Bo going on this great odyssey that really worked. And what do we do after we leave the house? Well, we go on a completely different direction of him being at this play and them telling him, yeah, this is what your life's going to be like. So that doesn't work for the movie whatsoever. And then we just keep going, and there's a couple of interesting ideas here, but the ending of the movie to me is just so unbelievably pretentious. Where, oh my god, the spoilers, if you haven't seen Beau is Afraid, the mom is still alive, right? And the whole thing is telling him he's a bad son, putting him on trial, all that. And that was an interesting idea, but when the mom's still alive, what do we get? We get the mom just sitting there saying, "You were a bad son! You're a bad son! You are still a bad son! You lied to me!" And just saying that over and over and over again, where it just gets repetitive. At first I was like, this is good, you know? These themes work for me as someone in my life, but then it just kept going. "You're a bad son! How could you do this to me? You're a bad son!" I don't, like, it was so unbelievably pretentious. It kept going. And then, like, tries to do a plot twist. Is the dad still alive? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. There's a giant penis in her basement or in her attic. I don't know. It's weird, man. So just the last half of the movie did not work for me at all. Even though that first half of the movie was really interesting, set up this big world. I don't know if I have to watch it again all in one sitting, but it's hard to watch 3-hour movies now without, like, going to sleep and then finishing it the following morning because of my job, where I quite literally work like 5 p.m. to 1 or 2 in the morning. Very hard to find time. So, like, I had to watch it. I started at like 12, and then I fell asleep around 1:30, and then I woke up at 8:30 the next morning to finish it. And it just, it didn't, the second half didn't work for me. It bored me. Now, I don't know, like I said, if I have to watch it in a new sitting, but I don't want to anytime soon because the ending was just so pretentious and preachy to me. Number 2, Eddington. Who would have thought after my review Eddington would be the runner-up in this case? Look, Beau is Afraid, 2.5-star movie. This movie, 3-star movie, and I think the more I think about it, the more I like the movie. I was listening to the Real Talk podcast yesterday at work. Shout out to you guys. It really made my shift go by faster. And I was just hearing them discuss it, and I think this is a movie that needs to be discussed. You know, the more I think about the movie, the more I talk about it, the more I realize things that happen in the beginning actually matter in the end, the more I like it. So, who knows? Maybe after thinking about it, it'd go up to 3.5. I don't know. I thought it was okay. I definitely riddled with issues, but overall, it's Ari Aster, who has a great visual style, who has a great direction style, makes a beautiful looking movie that has its moments that are just absolutely best of the year material, but then it has its moments that are just stupid. Like, I don't feel like I need to go to a movie and relive 2020, which is one of the worst years of my life. Like, I don't want to go watch a movie and then see the Black Lives Matter protests and COVID, you gotta wear your masks. Because let's be honest, that time absolutely sucked. And I don't want to go watch a movie and be put back in that time. But I was in this movie, and it was kind of annoying. And I get what Ari Aster was going for, but it was kind of annoying. But I think when it strives away from that, when it's about the small-town rivalry between Joaquin Phoenix, who's amazing in this movie, by the way, and Pedro Pascal, who is disappointing in this movie, it works. Like, halfway through the movie, you get just a big snapping moment, which is just awesome. And the movie's kind of great from then on out. But then it feels like Ari Aster is trying to do too many things in this movie. He was trying to implement too many things. He was trying to implement COVID, Black Lives Matter, political thriller, absolute Call of Duty madness in the ending of the movie. Tried to implement too many things, and I don't think it fully came together for me. I feel like it was Ari Aster saying, yeah, I want this and this and this and this and this and this in this movie. And for a 2.5-hour runtime, it probably needed like 4 hours to completely flesh out everything. But I think by the ending, they did something that kind of satisfied me. I wouldn't say that I was bored. I wouldn't say that this is a bad movie. It had potential to be amazing, and it just ended up being good, you know? It was a good enough movie. But my number 1, pretty easily, Hereditary. This is a 4.5-star movie, where Eddington's 3.5 stars. this movie's pushing 5 stars. Like, this is an amazing movie. Probably one of the best horror movies of last decade. It's a great movie. It's a movie where the first 30 minutes are just so unbelievably hard to sit through. I was squirming. I was like, do I want to finish this movie? Because a long time ago, story time, folks, my parents went to see a baseball game. My mom, my brother, and my dad went to see a baseball game. I was supposed to go. I was sick. Went to my grandparents' house and checked on HBO. What was playing? Hereditary. I'm like, I'm getting into the horror scheme. Saw Halloween. I saw Scream. What could be so different? I turned the movie off after the daughter got her head absolutely obliterated by the pole. And that scene stuck with me since that day until I saw it again. It still sticks with me, man. So, just because the dread that's coming, it's unbelievably hard to watch. And then the entire movie turns grief terrifying, man. The movie was horrifying because of grief. And the themes is what a mother would do, played by Toni Collette, who should have won the Oscar. Yes, she was incredible in this movie. What would a mother do to see her child one last time? And it is a very good theme, very interesting. And it gets so demonic, so messed up in the ending. And I will say, what holds back that half star for me is that, and I am learning that this probably made that genre, but I feel like I've seen the ending before in other different horror movies, like just so depressed, so messed up, just the normal demon stuff. Kind of loses what made the first 2 acts so perfectly horrifying. Still scary, still some terrifying images in the final act. Really scary. Overall, great performances by Toni Collette, Alex Wolff, both absolutely outstanding in here. This movie shot perfectly, horrifying elements. I mean, Ari Aster, I don't think like any of his other movies are necessarily scary. Like, I wasn't scared during Midsummer. I was just bored by its pretentiousness. Beau's Afraid, wasn't scared. Eddington, not a horror movie. I would love to see Ari Aster go back to something like this because, man, this movie was horrifying. This movie was terrifying. And it works. And it is a real, almost perfect horror movie directed by Ari Aster. And, I'm a little bit disappointed that I can't say Ari Aster is one of the best filmmakers because this is his only movie that I'd highly recommend to people. If I would even recommend you watch this messed up movie. I love messed up movies. It stuck with me. It's still sticking with me. That's why it's number 1. Thank you guys for watching this Ari Aster ranking. Stay tuned. I'm seeing Fantastic Four First Steps tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. Review's going to probably come out around 2 or 3, or I might have to push it to Saturday because I still work tomorrow night. Can't wait for that movie. Then we got some rankings coming this weekend. Thank you guys for clicking on this video, and with that said, subscribe.